Welcome to Mrs. Pete's Thrifty Levine. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is hashtag Tea Tuesday. This is hosted by our friend at Life with Patty. You can go over and check and see what she posts today and what everyone else in this awesome collaboration posts. I am drinking my usual. I do have a new cup to show you later. This is my coffee with my collagen and protein and some of my homemade creamer this time. And then I had to add a little bit of sweetener, some stevia. So that's what I'm drinking today. We have another one of the presidents. This is number 33. I am getting my information from 3 different sources now. The first one being Dollar Tree, the little booklet that I bought from them. Number 33 was Harry S. Truman. There's a little picture of it. Very small part of this one. And this is what it says about him. Harry S. Truman took office suddenly after Roosevelt's death. As vice president for only a few short weeks, he and Roosevelt had hardly even spoken. Still, he took charge and acted quickly to end the World War II. Once the fighting was over, Truman turned to other things. He supported the United Nations as well as the creation of Israel. He helped rebuild countries that had been damaged by war. Unfortunately, a new war started in Korea. Truman was known to speak his mind plenty. As time passed, more and more people think he was the best U.S. president ever. He was born in Missouri, May 8, 1884, and he served from 1945 to 1953. That's 2 terms. The vice president was Alben, A-L-B-E-N, Barkley, 2nd term, and then there was none in the 1st term. And he died in 1972. Here is another from the fan my friend Laura gave me. Here is a picture of him. Now this one was a little clearer and told a little more than I felt like the last one did. So we'll see. And I may have to put my glasses on right here to glance down here to tell you. Hopefully the glare won't be too bad here. It could never be said that he came into being a president prepared. He had actually, it said he had only talked to his predecessor a couple of times. And he prefaced his only known memo of FDR with a hesitant, "Hate to bother you, but I have a suggestion to make." That's good. On learning of Roosevelt's sudden death, Truman asked his widow, Eleanor, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Her reply was, "Is there anything we can do for you? For you are the one in trouble." Okay, that was kind of interesting. Independence, Missouri. He was raised, had himself to fall back on. He was a man of strongly defined character and strict moral convictions. The thick glasses he wore as a child might have kept him from taking part in standard games, gave him the gift of time, spent absorbing military chronicles. He grew up to engage combat on his own terms, fighting. He was fighting in France in World War I. Back home, he made a brief foray of haberdashery business before turning into politics. He was nominated on the Roosevelt ticket in 1944. Says, "He didn't tell me anything about what was going on here," he complained after succeeding the presidency. But history could not be resisted and Give 'em Hell Harry quickly mastered the subtitles of the domestic policy and international diplomacy alike. Okay. It was Truman who made the anguishing decision to drop the atom bomb on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, bringing World War II to a horrific close. He stood fast on matters of post-war reconstruction and he fought hard for the UN, but Truman's doctrine making the case for communist containment as it did hastened the onset of the Cold War. Truman's domestic policy, known as Fair Deal, amounted to more pragmatic version of the FDR's New Deal. Second term, the president introduced Marshall Plan to rebuild the war-ravaged Europe and offset communist political gains. We are on to Harry S. Truman's wife, Bessie. I can get a good picture of her here. She was born in February 1885 in Independence, Missouri. I used to live in Kansas City, not too far from there, just for a short while. She had one daughter. She went to school at Barstow School for Girls. She was 60, inauguration. She was First Lady the whole term of President, 1945 to 1953. And she died in 1982, and she died of heart failure. She loved to ride, skate, climb trees, play baseball, and she was the best tennis player in town. She had many friends, and at first barely noticed the attention of the bookish Harry Truman. When Bess and Harry became engaged in 1917, it had been 7 years since he first proposed. Wow, that's a long time. And it would be another 2 years before they got married. The bride and the groom were both in the mid-30s when they got married. Bess had been active with her friends, helping her widowed mother take care of the household. Harry had tried various business ventures before finally going into politics. He became the senator in 1934, and he and Bess and their 10-year-old daughter went to Washington. Although Bess had never before left her hometown of Independence, she liked Washington. She shared her husband's interests and helped him with his work. But Bess always hated publicity that went with being a political wife. When Harry Truman ran as Roosevelt's vice president in 1945, Bess went to bed on election night before the results were settled. She resigned herself to being the wife of the vice president and dutifully attended the endless parties and luncheons and dinners. Then Roosevelt died later that year, and Bess was suddenly First Lady. Bess preferred not to follow Eleanor Roosevelt's path. She didn't hold press conferences or champion any causes. She entertained only when necessary. Bess supervised the White House menus, handled household expenses, and spent much of the day answering letters. While she still enjoyed loving and intellectual partnership of her husband in private, publicly, Bess preferred to stay in the president's shadow. The Washington press was frustrated with Bess Truman, for her favorite answer to reporters' questions was no comment. The First Lady protected her privacy so well that she went Christmas shopping at a Washington department store disguised and unrecognized, alone. At the end of her husband's second term, Bess could hardly wait to get out of the White House and back home. There she settled into privacy she preferred. She lived a quiet domestic life that remained unchanged even after Truman's death in 1972. BESS died in 1982 at the age of 97. She lived a long time. Always very close to her parents, the Truman's daughter, Margaret, has written biographies of Harry and Bess Truman and has earned a reputation as an excellent murder mystery writer. Have you guys read any of her books? I guess I didn't even know she did. Well, first off, I want to tell you this book, and I want to always give them thanks, came from Carol. She sent it to me. She has Crinkle Path, and you can go on her channel. I'll put a little link to her channel. You can go to there and watch her. She's very talented. She's good. Tomorrow, I have a wonderful recipe for you. I've referred to it and talked about it in the past, but you'll get to see it tomorrow. It's a peach. What? Peach? Something. Okay. Now that's why I do a lot of editing. I've been telling myself I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to put two videos side by side, one of me editing and one of not. But it might make it a little long. Okay. God bless you. Don't forget, Jesus loves you today. And if you haven't, you can like, subscribe, comment, and share. One or all of the above. And I'll see you tomorrow.